How you doing, dude?
You know what? We're about to talk about this movie.
Welcome back.
Hold up. The cold intro is supposed to be what we were talking about, I thought.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
We were about to talk about Ghostbusters. With that being said, welcome back to the Backseat Critics.
My name's Andrew. And this is a podcast where we review movies that you should steer clear of. And this week,
oh wow, this week
we are reviewing.
We're reviewing
Ghostbusters, the original. Indiana Jones. What is with you?
What's wrong?
Indiana Jones. This guy, the whole time, he's talking about how the Indiana Jones killed Heath Ledger the whole time.
It's true.
I'm trying to watch the movie. I'm trying to enjoy some ghosts.
Some Bill Murray.
I'm trying to enjoy some Bill Murray. I'm
Some
trying to
Dan
enjoy
Aykroyd.
some scenery, some
Sigourney
Sigourney Weaver.
Some Rick Moranis.
The dog monsters. And this guy, he goes on a 60-minute.
Yeah.
I'm not joking here. Like I'm not joking.
2 hours. 2 hours worth of
Conspiracy about Indiana Jones family.
I've seen it. They're murderers. Both of them.
Indiana Jones.
Their dog, murderers. Can't trust them. Can't even trust their pet turtle. He looks at you with a side eye and then gives you cyanide in your drinks.
He does?
Yeah, their pet turtle.
Oh man,
I don't trust him.
I had to gain way down.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Because we know that we don't trust the
Indiana Jones.
pet turtles, dogs. Nope. Stay away from the animals.
Indiana Jones. The whole movie.
The whole movie. Yeah.
This guy is talking about this conspiracy
They're murderers.
to take over the world.
Yeah, they kill actors that they work with. I've solved the case.
You're joking, right?
No,
Is this all alleged?
this is facts.
Oh
Hardcore facts.
geez. I'm bleeping all this.
Listen to look at the last 3 movies besides
Indiana Jones. Folks, he's doing a bit.
I'm not doing a bit.
He is doing a bit.
This is facts.
Judge, I am doing my part.
In saying that you agree. Thank you.
And we're not releasing this episode.
Yes, we are.
Indiana Jones.
Murderers. Anyways, Ghostbusters.
Dude.
Go. Women's
No.
summary. Yes, go. Bam. We're going.
There's ghosts. There's some scientists that get fired from their university, and so they become Ghostbusters. People who capture ghosts.
Else. I was gonna be like, whoa.
Anyways, so they start busting ghosts. They capture ghosts, but then a big ghost comes, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta capture him." So they do that, and they save the day, and that's the movie.
That's the movie. Just like that. Boom. Gozer. Gozer's the bad ghost.
Played by
the Stay Puft
Billy D.
Marshmallow Man.
Williams.
Billy D. Williams, the smoothest man in the galaxy, plays Gozer.
Do you think you saw that backflip, right? That was smooth. That was milky. It was like slicing cheese.
So Ghostbusters. We're here to talk about Ghostbusters.
And you know what? I'm going to jump right to I'm jumping right to a question here.
Okay, let's go. Right to the question. Bam.
There's all sorts of spooks and kooks and stuff and like horror
Okay.
and ghost.
Yeah.
Do you think there was a type of ghost that was missing here?
Yes.
What's the type?
Freddy Krueger.
Is that a ghost?
Okay, I lied.
Indiana Jones.
He's the ghost that they need to capture. I've seen Dark and Darko.
Okay, so future note to me, I'm gonna cut this name and put it all over his Indiana Jones. But I'm also gonna cut over myself saying that name. And the name I'm going to say is Indiana Jones.
Yeah, no, can't get rid of.
Indiana Jones.
I think that's a ghost that they need to add into this movie. And also Freddy Krueger.
Okay.
I think he's not really a ghost, but you know.
How do you think they would have
Killed Freddy Krueger?
shown that?
You know.
If so, no.
Gozers?
I'm thinking like in the montage scene. We're flashing between like all the different ghost types.
I think you have Freddy come, like, have his hand up above somebody who's sleeping, and then all of a sudden they go, busted. Zzz. Part of the montage right there. Done, sealed, signed, and delivered.
But is it?
Yeah, I just did it. Boom. What kind of ghost would you say is missing?
I would say it'd kind of be cool to see the cliche person in a robe. Not a rope. Wow, I'm blanking on words
Like a
right now.
hangman?
No. Sorry, let me rephrase that. The classic ghost, like with the sheet with a couple holes cut out.
Just a white
sheet. But so I feel like this movie would have just had somebody running around with that sheet over their head going, woo.
Kind of make them a little bit translucent a little bit, maybe.
Make them a little translucent, but still show like the legs and stuff under.
Okay.
Like,
what if they had the Pac-Man ghost?
Also, see, that's a good one. What about the ghosts from Pirates in the Caribbean?
Which one?
Any of them. Yeah, the fish ghosts.
They kind of.
I like the fish ghosts. I think that would be kind of cool.
They kind of touch base a little bit on that with the cab driver a little bit. That kind of gave me the Pirates of the Caribbean type vibe.
The rotting flesh.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the more like solid looking ones that didn't have any sort of like translucency to them.
Yeah. That's okay though. We can roll with that. We can roll with those ghosts. Well, I think throughout this whole movie, Bill Murray delivers the best lines.
How do you say that?
How do I say that? Or why do I say that? How do I say that? Like this. I think Bill Murray delivered the best lines in the movie. That's how I say it.
That is true.
I think he is the most communical piece in it. And I never caught this until now, actually, while watching it, that he's a complete fraud.
Why do you say that?
While you're watching it, he does what is it? He has, I don't know, what would you call it? Like kick practices. Obviously, he's throwing up those fake cards in the beginning.
Yeah.
But as the movie's going on, they are slowly talking. Dan Aykroyd's character and I don't know who the other guy is.
Harold Ramis.
They're talking scientifically, and Bill Murray's like, okay, let's put this into Playman's terms really quick.
And he's clearly the only one that's not really like bought into the whole practice.
Yeah.
Outside of Winston, added later for similar-ish reasons.
Yeah.
Outside of like Winston is
Ernie Johnson.
Yeah.
Played by Ernie Johnson.
Is it Hudson?
Ernie Hudson. It's an Ernie name, right? I believe it's an Ernie name.
We should have the facts up on the movie.
That's all right. We'll be criticized later about that. The critics will be criticized.
We'll see that.
But I think throughout the whole movie that I never noticed the first time I ever watched this movie or first 100 times I've watched this movie that Bill Murray's kind of a fraud.
Yeah. Yeah, you never noticed that?
No, I'm always like, oh, it's Bill Murray. Like got the rose-colored glasses, but while watching it this time, through the eyes of the backseat critic, I put on my backseat critic goggles. I was like, boy's a fraud.
Yeah, they definitely lean into that with the second movie where he starts selling the book.
Yep.
So yeah, no, that was kind of always apparent to me, but it's interesting that he's kind of the only one that's seen as a fraud, or is a fraud. The other two like seem to have some legitimate basis for what they're saying, but they're seen as frauds because of ghosts don't exist.
Could you say that Bill Murray's character probably has the most confidence in the group too?
Easily. Oh, him and Harold Ramis.
I'd say Bill Murray's is.
I think Bill Murray's got the most confidence with people. I think Harold Ramis has got the most confidence in that he's knows what he's doing and also doesn't give like he doesn't care what other people think. I think that's that kind of confidence.
I think Bill Murray kind of has that too, to a degree.
I'm still saying they're like par and par. I think it's different types of confidence, but I still think they're both
more. Bill Murray, he's more vocal about his confidence.
That's what I mean by social.
Yeah, he's the one. Like he shows it before they go and fight Gozer. He goes up and he's hyping up the crowd like, yeah, we could kill Gozer. Boys are here.
But again, like he's
signing an autograph, kissing babies.
That's what I'm saying. Like, still different types of confidence. One's more of a social charismatic confidence, and one's more of, I know what I'm doing. Whereas Dan Aykroyd is just the bumbling idiot.
Yeah.
Who still like knows science, but he's a bumbling idiot.
Smarter than Bill Murray's character, but
yeah.
But Bill Murray's character's his confidence like gets him past that point of his fraudness, I guess.
Yeah.
You could say.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever dived so much into psychology about characters before on the Backseat Critics until now.
It's very surface level psychology.
Very much so, but we are scratching at it now, I guess, these days.
Yeah, wait till our next movie.
What about those that soundtrack?
Such
Slapping.
a classic.
And just the Ghostbusters song itself, just boom. And then when they're about to go save the day song, I was like, got me going. I was hyped. I was ready to save the day.
Saving the day.
I was ready to take off my shirt and run around the room.
The day.
Exactly what I was about to do is take off my shirt, run around the room. Say, I'm here to save the day.
Why did I like default to falsetto?
That's just your automatic default. I've learned from the past episodes. Like that's just your automatic default.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Do you just have that itch because you're like, I'm a guy, I have a high voice. I might as well make it a little bit higher.
Just go way up there.
And then you just want to go a little higher, touch it a little bit more. I don't know. Oh, jeez. I apologize for everybody's ears who are listening to this episode now.
Go up one higher.
That's what I got.
Go up one more.
Have you ever tried, you know how like when you're a kid that you could scream like a girl?
Yeah.
Have you ever tried doing that? Do not do that there now. But have you ever tried doing that? Like as of late, have you ever tried that? Like to actually like try to pull it out?
Yeah.
It's like a dust like trying to come out, and it's like you see like basically like a cartoon where like moths and stuff fly out. You're trying to hit this pitch.
It's like a cartoon character smoking a cigar for the first time, and they're all like that's what it feels like.
Like you're cleaning out like a dirty closet.
It's like immediately like even if you hit that pitch, it still like destroys your throat.
Or it just feels like there's something in my throat at that point. So you just leave a big old pause. All right, favorite ghost, go.
Shoot. Was not expecting that one.
Yeah, go.
Oh boy.
Threw it down.
Jeez Louise. There's so many ghosts. There's like, for example, like the librarian ghost. The librarian ghost was like a really interesting ghost. She had a elaborate outfit. She had a transformation scene, but then you go forward and you get kind of the sexy woman ghost that kind of finagles with Dan Aykroyd for a bit. Like that's kind of an interesting scene, like kind of out there. You've got the cabbie ghost.
Got the cabbie, got Slimer.
You got Slimer. You got the classic of Slimer. Slimer's like iconic.
Yeah.
You've got Gozer.
Got Gozer.
And
got the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
So that's what I was going to say. Like, is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man a ghost? Because
he's a ghost.
He's not really like the dead entity of some person. He's a conjuring of somebody's imagination.
True.
That's brought into existence.
Let's take him away. Can't use the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
Okay. Who you got though?
Hold up. You've got the. Oh, I guess the dogs could be conjuring too. Never mind.
What you got?
So, my pick is going to be the one later that's scaring people out of the subway.
Okay.
You don't even see him.
My pick's going to be Slimer. I'm just going to stop
I'm
with
kidding.
the classic.
I don't even remember. I was going to cabbie.
That's a cabbie?
Yeah.
So now we have these creatures in this movie, obviously these ghosts.
Yeah.
Obviously mine's Slimer, here's the cabbie.
Yep.
We have another movie that we reviewed with creatures and ghosts and goblins and ghouls and monsters.
Oh, yeah.
Girl versus monster.
High School Musical.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, Sharpay. But Grover's Monster.
Troy is my pick.
The werewolf.
What? Wait. Oh, the werewolf. Oh.
Yeah, Troy the werewolf.
Troy the werewolf.
But with Grover's Monster, which monsters do you like more?
Honestly, a good question, because I feel like Girl vs. Monster had more variance and more interest with them. But I feel like the execution of and that leaning into something was hit better with Ghostbusters.
So what's his name? Like Frank or something? The Scarecrow dude? Do you think that if the Scarecrow dude from Grover's Monster was added into Ghostbusters, is that a better movie?
Frank produced looking exactly like he is in Girl vs. Monster.
Yeah, but now throw him back into that 80s look, you know?
Okay, so you are redoing the outfit.
Not redoing the outfit, just redoing I guess how you see the TV back then, because it's a little washed compared to Grover's Monster.
Right. I'm talking about like the actual costume.
Costume the same, acting the same, everything.
Is it made better by the existence of Frank, the Scarecrow, in Ghostbusters? No, I would have to say no.
No.
Oh. I like if he's part of the montage. I don't really see him bringing much to. The cabbie didn't bring much to the plot. I think it's a fun monster. I think it's really cool and interesting.
I think that's some
kind of unusual.
Movie.
I don't think he would add that much substance.
I'm kind of disappointed in this movie.
It would be cool to see, but I don't think he would add anything.
I think if they added like a Halloween type time period to the montage,
like a jack-o'-lantern.
Something, some sort of like they caught like a Halloween type monster during a Halloween type period.
See, I actually enjoyed that this wasn't really like a Halloween type period. It wasn't intentionally like spooky. It just looked like
but just a quick little
like a November afternoon.
Yeah. Like it's
September,
January,
October,
February. But I mean, just a quick little boop in the montage.
July, August,
just a quick little
June,
boop.
May, April.
You don't want to
March.
dollop. You don't want a dollop of that inside the montage. Just a little boop. You don't want a blooper?
Okay, so yes, because like I said, I wanted more variance with the type of ghost that we see. I think that would be cool. Would it add anything to the movie? No. It would be cool, but it wouldn't add anything.
Well, I mean, it just adds more funness.
Makes it more fun.
Yeah, isn't that adding something fun? F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for anywhere, anytime, and all. Oh no, we're not gonna do that. Okay. I was ready.
Sir, you have had
We're talking about Ghostbusters. We're talking about the
Indiana Jones. No, we're not talking about the Indiana Jones.
The murderers they are.
No, stop saying that.
Why?
Stop saying that. No, stop saying that. That's worse.
But it is out there.
Oh, jeez.
All right, what's your favorite point in the movie?
Favorite point in the movie.
I'm throwing you off guard with these questions. They're coming out rapid fire. Bam, bam, bam.
What is my favorite scene in the movie is going to be kind of the first scene that they're like getting the hang of things when they meet Slimer in the hotel.
That's fun.
That whole scene going in, basically not knowing what they're doing. If this is basically their first client, like Sigourney Weaver hasn't really produced anything of importance.
Just spectacles. Like,
this happened to me. Stop that! No.
Yes.
I'm going to have to edit so much to put in Indiana Jones in all these places.
It's going to be perfect. It's okay. We'll make your work out for you. That's okay.
So, no, the first thing, they walk into the hotel. This is technically like their first actual client with an actual entity. And they walk in. They don't know what they're doing. They haven't even turned on their packs. And
they don't even know if the packs even work.
Right, exactly. They turn on the elevator. You have the comedic moment where they all kind of bunch up to one side as Dan Aykroyd stands there with this machine helmet on his back. They accidentally fire at the maid because they don't even know how to handle it. They run into their second now run in with a ghost.
Yeah.
And then they proceed to actually catch it. Like, I enjoy that the movie actually took its time with that scene, like let it pan out. And then you actually see kind of this arc from like, they walk in not knowing what they're doing.
And all of a sudden the confidence, boom.
They captured their first ghost. They did it. And then like from there, they just took off. But like seeing that kind of like, this was like a micro story.
Yeah.
You start off with the intro. They walk in. They don't know what they're doing. They turn on the packs. They do the test fire at the maid. Okay, that's the intro. You got the kind of climax. You know, they run into the ghost. They're kind of like figuring things out, shooting at it. Oh man, I've been slimed. Like learning that kind of stuff. They go down to the finale in the big parlor.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, don't cross the streams because it could do this. We're introducing a thing to the larger movie. But in this kind of micro story, they're fighting that final boss. They're going after the villain, Slimer. And then they capture Slimer, put him in the trap. Like that's
like a boss level in a video game to end a chapter of a video game.
Yeah. So it's like that whole scene in the hotel where they are capturing Slimer, I think works as like a micro story within a larger story. And I think that's really interesting. What's yours?
I actually like the Battle of Gozer.
Why?
Just the comedic back and forth that kind of happens throughout that time.
I went on like a 20-minute.
You had great points. You had great points. I'm not gonna lie; those are great points. That was really deep dive in the movie. But I just like the comedic back and forth that shows the comedy power of the movie. I feel like. I mean, you have a pretty good cast of comedians, basically
it's
comedy actors.
It is a solid cast,
and I feel like that scene brings all that together. Like I could honestly see if they never came out and said this, and I know they've never said this, but if they actually did, and they said Dan Aykroyd said the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and then they had to create that.
Like they were just picking random things.
Yeah, and Dan Aykroyd just said the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I could see that being ad-libbed 100%, and then having the movie have to somehow add the writers add the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man into
Growing up, the final scene that you're talking about, the set wasn't like 100% perfect. It has like a stage like quality to it.
Yeah.
It gave me a so growing up it gave me like a high budget, well made SNL skit.
A little bit, yeah.
But not stupid.
Yeah.
So like it just like has that like you said, like really comedic elements to it. Like even the way that the set is, it's like it's a scary thing that they're dealing with, but then they're fighting a marshmallow man on what looks like an SNL skit, like set.
Yeah.
So
well, also
that's actually a really good point.
The part where like Dan Aykroyd goes up and basically breeds her rights almost.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Nope.
Are you a god?"
She goes, "No." And then they say at the end of it, if somebody asks you if you're a god,
you say yes.
So I just find that whole scene just comedic gold almost.
I actually want to shout out a second scene for a mostly comedic movie where the comedy's kind of like undertone.
Yeah.
I think introducing Winston was the best thing for the movie because you bring in a human non-scientific element, and then you have this scene. This is where the shadow, like kind of extra scene comes in when he and Dan are in the cab together.
Yeah.
Or in the Ecto one.
Yep.
You've got Dan, a very, very scientific man, like Harold Ramis's character. And then you've got Winston, who's just like a worker, just a dude, just introducing like our perspective as a non-con man, non-scientist to the movie. And he's interpreting all of this as like, oh, this is like the apocalypse, like all the ghosts and stuff coming. So I think like bringing him into the movie was like the best ad
I think
they could have had, because it's like you've got comedic elements, you've got the scientific element, so there's a certain level of detachment, but then they raise the stakes by introducing this kind of layman to the movie,
just somebody who's looking for work,
and that he's interpreting what they're doing and the amount of work they're getting and like the potential of like Gozer and all that as like, oh, this is apocalyptic. and he like really raises the stakes of the movie. So
Well,
I think as far as like actors and characters, he was the best ad.
You definitely hit your point there exactly when they talk about the police at the very end, where they go to jail and then they bring him in front of the mayor, and the mayor's just trying to figure out how to make sense of everything that's going on. And when he comes in, Winston's just like, listen, I'm a plain dude. I didn't trust this stuff either, but I've seen some things over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I just think like the moment in the cab. So it's like at night, you only have like the indoor lighting in the cab, so it feels very personal between the two of them. You've got some kind of like haunting music going on in the background. It's like some chords just playing there. So it's like kind of spooky. It's kind of serious. And it's just like for a comedy movie, it's kind of weird to see.
Yeah.
And really kind of interesting to see that. So that's why I'm like, Winston's like the best ad that they could have added for a character to kind of raise the stakes above other kind of comedic themed movies.
So throughout this movie, you said that besides Gozer's the main bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
You have that kind of environmentalist guy that you said that would be better played, or that you said that is basically Alan Rickman, or could have been Alan Rickman in this movie.
Oh, yeah, the EPA guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Peck.
Yes, Peck. With that being said,
Dickless.
yes, as Bill Murray, great line in that movie.
Yes, it is correct. This man does not have a dick.
With that being said, what is if we can remove one actor,
Replace it with someone else?
Yeah.
Woo!
Who we replacing here?
Woo! I was actually going to bring this up earlier. That's a good question. That is a good question. Do you know why that's a good question?
Why is that a good question?
They have a lot of good actors here.
They have a ton of good actors.
They've got, okay, let's go over the cast that they do have.
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver is kind of the love interest, the one that's kind of experiencing most of it. We've got Rick Moranis as her neighbor, who's interested in her, but she's not interested in him.
You got Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, the Ghostbuster con man.
Dan Aykroyd.
We've got Dan Aykroyd, scientist. You've got Harold Ramis, scientist. You've got the mayor, and he's kind of the one I'm leaning towards. You could replace. But oh man, now I'm gonna have to actually cut this. My bad. Sorry. I failed us. I failed us all.
You got the mayor.
Yeah, you got the mayor. You've got the dogs. You know, I'm just thinking here. Replace Rick Moranis. I'm thinking Paul Giamatti.
You just go back to your standard.
Paul Giamatti.
Going back to the standard.
So no, I would replace the mayor. And it's a big role ish for like the final climax.
Yeah.
I'm going De Niro.
De Niro. I'm gonna hop on your back of replacing the mayor. I'm gonna go a different route.
Oh wait, is it Will Ferrell?
Not Will Ferrell. I'm going Mel Brooks.
See, I feel like that'd be a bad pick because I think the mayor's like another layman who doesn't really understand what's going on, so you need that emotional weight.
I just like Mel Brooks in this situation.
And even in was it To Be or Not to Be, a movie about being, taken by Nazis, like a very serious movie. Like I don't think he'd bring a lot of like extra weight to it. I feel like De Niro would bring some like
I'm looking for that extra comedy power, I guess.
See, I feel like that would take away from the weight and the stakes that you're adding to the movie with like adding characters like Winston and talking about the apocalypse and showing other people being scared, and like you're obviously raising it, and then you're like, oh well, let's have the mayor played by Mel Brooks.
Perfect. Perfect. I mean, it's better than saying it's played by.
You bring up their name again, I'm muting your mic.
It's all right.
We're actually in the episode right there.
JG.
One more time with
Indiana
initials now.
Jones.
We're ending the episode, okay? I'm going to get my final thoughts here.
Final thoughts, though. What you got?
So this is, I said it while we were watching this is one of my absolute favorite movies. So I am giving this movie, this is a 10.
Straight flat 10 for you.
This is a straight 10. This is a straight 10 for me. They hit everything that they needed to. I don't think it leaned too far into the comedy. I don't think it leaned too far into the horror, and I think they raised the stakes an appropriate amount. Like it all works really well. You've got 3 comedic actors working in a world of non-comedic actors and not super comedic scenes. They're not like slapstick or anything. It's very kind of just spoken and just kind of subtle. It's just like it hits the right tone, and it's like I can take any scene of this movie and watch just that scene, and it's a good scene, and that's where the 10 is. I don't think there's a scene in this movie that I'm like I could have done without that. There are things that could have maybe been improved, but I think for the time, this was as probably good as it gets.
For me, I personally
for what it is and
give
for
it
what
an
they set it for.
8.5.
A 5?
8.5.
Okay, I was about to murder you.
8.5. I there was points in this movie where I was kind of like, it's always been that way for me, and I can every single time I watch it, I'm like, okay, you know, like I'm like, I could, you know. But for me, it's just an 8.5. If for kids wise, I would say probably wait till 8 or 9. Maybe
I'd go 7, 8.
You know,
a little bit lower, but
it's once again, it's one of those movies I'd say watch with your kid first, and then after that, they have free reign.
Yeah.
If they want to plug it in, they plug it in. But
point out the kind of even if you want to point out like kind of the fun movie making facts about like the track that I told you to kind of like help break the illusion to kids a little bit. Yeah,
it's a good way. It's a good entry movie into scary movies.
But I feel like they set out to make a kind of comedic horror with like a certain amount of stakes. They nailed exactly that, which is why I'm like, it's a 10.
Maybe. So where can they find us?
Up your ass and to the left.
Got another cut right there. Where can they find us?
On Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, which I think is now YouTube Music or YouTube at this point. I'm not entirely sure.
Where
Deezer, they can. It's called the Backseat Critics, folks. You're listening to us, so you just look at the thing, and you found us. You follow us if you want, or if you don't want to, just don't follow us. That's cool with us.
And donating to $Hero Bob gets you a free picture of Mr. Bob.
Just make sure you screenshot that donation and send it to us. When we hit $1,000, folks, somebody will be getting a free car, a Hot Wheel car,
a Hot Wheel
car, a small
Hot Wheel car,
under $6 Hot Wheel car.
And if you follow us and want a free picture of Bob,
just shoot us a message and follow us.
Yeah, after you follow us, shoot us a message saying, "Hey, I want my free picture."
It's nothing raunchy, just a picture.
Mr. Bob.
Yeah. Well, that's all, folks.
We out.